this is Jersey. You're watching The Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
I am Josh Chomik.
And behind the camera, the producer himself, the Megamind.
Jimmy Parks.
Jimmy.
Megamind, I like that.
Yeah, dude, you really...
Megamind.
The way you take notes for these episodes, you just really crush it, man.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, I just want to say,
that.
going into these edits, the notes that Jimmy gives me is a lifesaver. Every single mistake, every single cut, where the stories are, it just makes it such a breeze to edit. So thanks, Jimmy.
No
And also, I
problem.
want to say, this is our first episode we are recording consciously knowing it's going to be on YouTube. For those that don't know, Josh Chomik has began the long and tiresome process of uploading all of our full-length podcasts to YouTube. If you like watching podcasts that happen, you can go check it out, youtube.com/thegarden-state, and you could see this one, live, I guess.
This is what we look like with all the mistakes, all the bloops.
Yeah.
See, the reason why I never posted these on YouTube in the first place is because there's a lot of stories we read. We put a lot of photos and clips on for the TikToks, but we don't do those for the full length just because it's a time restraint right now.
Yeah.
So I apologize if you're watching this and you don't see all the videos we're watching or all the clips. We're getting there, just not yet.
It's a lot of work on top of editing an episode a day and all the other stuff that comes along with this podcast. So
When we build the team, it's coming.
yeah, when we build the team out, when Jimmy finally becomes CEO,
Wow, CEO.
yeah, and
I'm
then
getting all the
Well,
compliments
we have to
today.
talk about that, Josh. I don't know. See you.
well, yeah, we'll talk that through. But hey, guys, before we get into it, how was everyone's week? What'd you guys do?
That was great. This weekend, I went to the beach. It was 102 degrees.
Hey, the heat wave broke today. There's no more heat wave.
You know what was funny? I was watching the news this morning, and they said, it's going to be a cool 87 today.
Yeah, it feels great.
Well, driving, I had the window down on my way here with the slight breeze. I saw it was 83 degrees. I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
is so... I feel like the past week, I've been in a sauna driving everywhere.
Well, your car also doesn't have air conditioning.
It has air conditioning, Josh. It's just not to the coldest degree I want it to be
It
at.
just blows warm air.
Well, not warm air, but it's not cold air either. So I try to balance it out between going from the air to windows down. But in a heat wave with the windows down,
Yeah.
it's hot air blowing onto my arm.
I think this all has to do with what your uncle did to your car a few years ago, because remember your heat wasn't working and then he fixed your heat and it's 1,000,000 degrees in the winter in your car.
No, I think
your
it's-
face melts off when you're in your
let's
car
not
in the
blame my
winter.
uncle here. He did a great job on my car.
He cranked that heat up
Hey,
to
in
11.
in the wintertime, my car is the best. I'm comfortable, I'm taken care of. But something happened this year with the Jeep. I don't know. I think it's going.
You know what you could do is you could take a styrofoam cooler and put ice in it, and then you make a little vent on top of it with a fan, and that's a homemade air conditioning unit.
So where do I put that in my car?
On your front seat, you strap it in with a seatbelt, and you're good to go.
What if Jimmy's sitting in the front? He has to hold it. Yeah, he could just sit. It could be on his
guess.
lap.
Yeah. Well,
That's a good DIY project.
you could try it out. I've seen DIY videos do it, and it works, You just have to buy a lot of ice or
I
get an
know.
ice machine.
Or I could just go to the mechanic and have him fix it.
Yep.
That's a lot of money, though.
Yeah, just why am I going to waste my time going to the mechanic? I have other things to do.
True.
Exactly.
Hey, Jimmy, what beach were you at this weekend?
What the Monmouth Beach?
Free beach.
Free beach.
No Island Beach State Park?
No, a little too far. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, tell us about that thing that happened this week that you showed us.
Which thing? That
An
happened?
Island Beach.
The wash.
Oh, there was a crazy. So we had all this erosion at Island Beach, and they shut down part of the beach for the last 2 or 3 miles in the park. It's crazy.
That's a long stretch.
Yeah, the waves are right up to the sand dunes. Apparently, I'm getting told that it was because of a steady south wind or something for a few days.
No one expected it too, which is crazy. It's usually big storms or hurricanes do this to the ocean, but this is just out of the blue.
Yeah, and they don't know how long it's going to take to come back. Apparently, this wind is changing over the next few days, and it's slowly going to start replenishing on its own. But
And that's the spot we usually go to.
so I double checked. We normally go a little bit further up from there, but still, that's a
So our
long
section's
stretch of
good.
beach. Our section's fine.
Great.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Because we still got to go there and record our episode from Island Beach.
I know August it's happening. It's going down.
Has to.
It'll happen in August. Speaking of that section of New Jersey, I was in Brick on Sunday.
Yep.
And it was nice. I like it down there, right on the bay, swimming in a pool. And it was so hot out that the pool felt like a hot tub. But it was very enjoyable nonetheless, and I had a great time. I'm just trying to remember what else I did on Saturday.
We went swimming.
Yeah, we were together.
Oh,
We hung out.
y'all came over. We went for a
Y'all.
swim. That was great. What about you, Choma? What'd you do?
I went swimming with you guys Saturday.
Oh,
It
that's
was
right.
so hot. Took care of a bunch of errands. What was going down on Sunday, though?
You know, question for you guys, since you live in the area. This is a local story. Because you were talking about, I just remembered on Sunday I was driving, and I drove through Westfield. Have you guys seen this place called Ralph's?
No.
Ralph's Ice Cream and Italian Ice in Westfield?
No, but there's so many, dude.
Bro, no. This place, I've never seen such a steady line. Like if you're from the area and you're listening to this and you're from the Union County area, if you go to Magic Fountain in Summit, that place always has a line. If you go to, I don't know, there's certain spots that have lines. This place had a line.
Is it
was
downtown?
long. It is on Central.
Okay.
And it's south of South Ave. So it's right before you get to South Ave. You know where that mural is?
Yes.
Where the bridge is?
Yeah, it's before the bridge. Like you're going from Clark into Westfield on Central Ave, and it comes up on your left-hand side, and it's right before the gas station's on your right.
Oh, yes. I know exactly where you're talking
Dude,
about. Yeah.
this place, I've never been, but it looked like the locals love it. We might have to go drop a review.
A little review?
Yeah.
Well, because I went to that other ice cream place a few weeks ago. Did we just talk about it last week?
Yeah, you brought it up, I
Yeah,
think.
it's trash. So, I'm down to try a new spot.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you're listening and you have a legendary ice cream spot you want us to go to, let us know. Because I think the next step for this podcast is we're going to start diving into all the local spots.
Oh, I thought you were going to say ice cream spots. I was about to say, we don't know ice cream like that. It all tastes the same to
dude,
me.
That's okay. Okay, so thank you, because when I drove past and saw the line, I felt a little insecure for a second because I'm like, I have never gone to an ice cream place where I've gone, this is the best ice cream in my life. Yeah, there's good ice cream where I'm like, that's great. This is a great cookies and cream, scoop of ice cream on this waffle cone. But there's some people that will line up for ice cream. I don't know, like the luxury ice creams. I don't know if you call them like family.
No, yeah, I say luxury, yeah.
Luxury or like a family-owned ice cream place. They all, like if it's a good spot, they're all going to taste good,
Yeah.
There's not going to be a spot that blows my socks off, but a lot of times it's hype.
Like, dude, especially
It's hype.
during a heat wave, man, everyone's going out to get ice cream.
Yes.
And I guess it's a new spot, so that everyone in town is like, oh, let's check out this new spot.
Now, I will say, pizza's not like this. There is
very different.
definitely good pizza, and there's subpar pizza, and we know the good spots.
It's just easier to taste pizza and taste the difference compared to ice cream. Ice cream, there's people who could do it, but you just got to be good. I don't know ice cream like that.
I think you have to well, what is ice cream? It's you're getting milk or cream and sugar, and then I guess maybe the ingredients they throw in, if it's cookies and cream, they get better Oreos. I don't know. Homemade cookie dough or something. I don't know.
Then it comes back to the sorbet.
And
The sherbet.
I don't want to get back into the sherbet or the sorbet.
My mom listened to the podcast last week. The whole family did. They went to the beach and they were listening and they were all laughing at me. My mom's like, there's a big difference between sorbet and sherbet. I was like, I don't know.
Brother, that is something that only a mom would know.
She was laughing. She's like, Josh, how do you not know that? I'm like, I don't. You never taught me, Mom.
I feel like moms would sit around and be like, oh, he didn't know the difference between a sorbet and a sherbet. And we're like,
Look at him.
obviously. My mom
so disappointed in me.
My mom 1,000% knows the difference as well.
Yeah, dude.
So, hey, should we get into the news, or is there any other outstanding New Jersey stuff we need to talk about that's just on your guys' minds? It's been a hot couple of weeks. The heat wave broke. We are entering into the later half of, we're closing out July.
That's wild.
Later half of summer. August is about to begin. And yeah.
How does summer go so fast?
I told you guys,
We're adults. We work. That's what happens.
You need to cherish Memorial Day weekend. I'm telling you guys, it's the best weekend of the year. It's the
Yeah, it's my birthday weekend.
It is.
That's true.
It is to summer what Thanksgiving is to Christmas. You gotta take it all in, absorb the atmosphere, because before you know it, it's January 1st and you're taking down your Christmas tree.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
Well, I got my Yankees jersey on right now because tonight starts the Subway Series, Yankees Mets, of course. It's the first time all year that we're playing each other. It's only a 2-game set, very sad. Then we play them 2 more times in August, but I just want to say, let's go Yankees.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Yankees. And you guys do have the advantage with pitching on your side during this series. We got some weaklings on our end, but I'm very excited for the series. So if you're a Yankees fan out there, let's go.
I should know this, but I just have not had the chance to look. Who's starting for the Mets tonight?
Walker versus Montgomery.
Oh, brother.
So, and then tomorrow you guys have Scherzer versus Herman,
that'll
and
be-
Herman is trash. JP Sears should be starting.
We'll
That's
see
a
what
whole nother
happens.
story. We need a sports podcast. Like that's got to happen.
Garden
sometime.
State Sports. It's going to happen when that investor
we
hits us
need
up.
more time.
All right, so let's get into the news, guys. How about that? That sounded weird. Let's get into the news, boys.
All right, Dad.
How about
Fine.
that?
Jimmy needs a camera, dude.
How about-
we got to get a camera on Jimmy?
Yeah, we should get another camera between us pointed back at Jimmy.
Oh, I like
I
that.
want them to see what we're looking at. Like I kind of see your face, but I also
It's
see
beautiful.
the camera.
All right, let's get into the news. So the first article tonight comes from the Asbury Park Press.
Ooh, they're great.
Jersey.
I love them.
Favorite newspaper in New
man.
Jersey.
I think they're an awesome news source.
Yes, the Asbury Park Press is reporting Jersey guys and former YouTube stars find success with Garden State podcast.
Who are they talking about?
Who are these losers?
My brother in Christ. They're talking about us.
Oh,
Wow.
that's us. It's us.
Yes, so the Asbury
Wait,
Park
we're the
Press-
news this week.
We are the news. Yeah. If
That's
you
crazy.
if you listen to the podcast, you watch these clips. Asbury Park Press did an article on the podcast, and we just want to give a little shout out there. Thank you for that. If you are down the shore or you have access to a print copy of the Asbury Park Press, this Sunday edition, it may or may not be printed. Depending on the editor's decision. We were told it would, but it may not happen.
I hope the editor likes us, or else we're screwed.
I'm not going to read the talking points like I normally do with an article because I want people to dive into this one themselves.
Yeah,
And,
they can read about these stars.
Yeah, these YouTube stars.
You gotta love that clickbait title.
Former YouTube store.
Former. Listen, we don't do the YouTube stuff anymore. We see all the TikTok comments. Is that Josh Sobo? Is that the Computer Nerd 01? Yes, it's us. And
Yeah.
we're talking Jersey now. So definitely go check out the article.
We got a little bit into the foundation of this podcast and how it came to be, what it grew out of, and it was a conversation you and I had. We won't give away the details, but if you go to the right, I mean, today is not the day you're going to be listening to this, so this is later this week. You can search Jersey guys and former YouTube stars find success with Garden State podcast, and
It's pretty cool.
a nice little read. Some cute pictures of us. We look very handsome, if I'm allowed to say that myself.
So good.
And
So good looking.
It's there. Shout out to my boy Sean for reaching out to us.
It's just so crazy, bro. We're reporting our own story.
Yeah,
And it's a good thing. It's
and
not a bad story.
Next, it will be the New York Times reached out to us because they want to change their name to the New Jersey Times, and we're
Wow.
working on that deal.
Oh, let's go.
I think we could make it happen.
New Jersey Times.
We should make a paper, the New Jersey Times.
Why isn't there a New Jersey Times? Did New York Times like block that from ever happening to any other state?
There's a Trenton Times.
There's an NJ.com. That's why.
Trenton Times?
Yeah.
Are they like big in the Trenton area?
I don't know. Their building was abandoned and now it's a school, but the sign's still there.
So someone's running it from their house.
Probably.
Shout out to the Trenton Times.
Yeah. Shout out to the Trenton Times.
Good
man.
times in Trenton.
Shout out to the GardenState.com. By the way, this inspired me. I was like, wow, we are a part of the news this week. Hopefully it's going to be printed. And, here's the flip side of it. What if the GardenState.com became a news site? What if we had a newspaper, something we handed out once a week?
It's the dream.
It's the dream ski. And I think it could be our reality one day.
See, like I know print is dead. Everyone's like, it's all digital now, but there's something so cool about like you have your own story and printing it and seeing it in paper.
Yeah.
Like nothing beats that feeling. Like if we did a news source, we would have to pay for the print fees.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they print this article, we're definitely framing it because this is the first time. This is the first time the Garden State's been in any sort of newspaper.
Crazy.
And there's something about newspaper that does feel cool.
like we're gonna hang it and put it behind us, so like every
should.
episode it shows
we
the
should,
article
for sure. So that's very exciting. And you can catch that over on, Asbury Park's website.
And it was
or
so funny.
App.com.
Yeah, because this week Josh was like, well, I don't know how it came about in our conversation, but we're just like, Josh is like, wait, app is the Asbury Park Press, and I was like, wait,
I'm
what?
so
I can't
dumb.
believe you guys didn't know this.
I didn't know.
We are literally like representing New Jersey with our podcast. And I've just always was like, I always thought app.com was just like local news. Well, it is local news, but like I never knew it stood for Asbury Park Press.
I thought it was just like an app.
We
I don't
shouldn't
know.
be admitting that after this article.
We just got to be honest with everyone listening, and I hope they don't get mad. But
No, it's
they're
cool.
not paying us. We could say whatever we want.
Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
App.com. Go for it. Yeah, I gotta talk to Jim. Hey, Jimmy. Other than swimming on Saturday, what else did you do this weekend? What did you do on Friday?
What did I do on Friday? I don't even know.
Were you just, like,
I'm
chilling?
so bad with like, I went to a fire Friday.
Oh, there's a fire.
There's a fire.
Nice.
So I went, put the fire out, and then
Jimmy
came
put the
home.
fire out. Jimmy started the fire,
I put it out.
and he put it out. He didn't start the fire. I hope he didn't.
I did not.
You shouldn't be starting fires. We're not in a drought yet, right?
No, we're still abnormally dry.
Okay, so no drought.
No drought yet, but I think we're getting pretty darn close. I think there's some like restrictions on like when you can water your lawn. And
Can you
stuff
make
like
a fire right now?
Northern New Jersey, you can't make any ground fires, but if you want to have like a charcoal grill fire
In your
that's
backyard,
allowed,
you're
yeah.
fine. But like if you're in a park, no fires.
You can do charcoal.
But no, like campfire, I mean.
No campfire now.
Yeah, no shot.
But southern New Jersey, anything south of the Raritan River, you can have a fire like normal.
Like it's crazy seeing how dry the grass is out there. I was hoping yesterday, there were so many isolated thunderstorms that we're filming this on Tuesday. So yesterday, Monday, everyone was like, oh, the heat wave's going to break with some thunderstorms. And we were under a flash flood warning at one point, right? Or a watch.
Yeah, for a while there.
I was hoping,
And we got nothing.
I was hoping for a crazy storm just so we can get a few inches on the ground. It would help a little bit. It wouldn't like solve the issue. But getting some rain in the area would be definitely nice. And we didn't get anything. I was like following the radar. I was so
But you
sad.
know, some places in southern New Jersey got like over an inch of rain.
Yeah, no, I feel like southern Jersey's been getting more rain than we have.
It's been super sporadic. Like I was talking to some of my friends in South Jersey today. One
welcome
guy
back.
got over an inch of rain in his house, and someone like a mile away got like a quarter of an inch. So
Well, it's all isolated storms,
it's
so that's
insane.
what's tricky about it.
Hey, sorry about that, guys.
Hey, we're good.
I
What's up?
just drank a ton of water before we started the podcast. So, all right, let's get deeper into the news here.
Wait, can I say one thing about
Yeah.
you because you just said that? So last week's episode, Josh was talking about drinking a gallon a day.
Oh yeah, thanks for bringing this back up.
You just brought it up. Thank you for reminding me. So after last week's episode, I tried drinking a gallon of water every day.
How'd you do?
I haven't been doing every day, but over the weekend on Saturday, I drank like a gallon and like 3/4 of
great.
water. By like I texted you at 1:30. I was like, Josh, I reached the gallon.
That's awesome.
And-
Big accomplishment.
Well, I was also doing a lot of physical activity throughout the morning.
Can I
but
say you're glowing right now? That might be a result of the water. The
Am I?
hydration. Yeah, your skin looks wonderful. man.
I
You
oiled
look
up.
good.
Is
You
it the
look like
oil on my face?
You look like a Neutrogena commercial right now.
Thanks.
wow.
But I felt really good after doing it. It's definitely not easy. You have to push yourself. I did physical activity, so I guess that helped. But I don't know if I'm like wearing it off by like doing physical activity. I don't know.
Well, no, you got. I mean, that's the whole point. And I will say, I want to correct the record. Last week, I felt so dumb when I listened to the podcast back because.
You're not dumb.
Thank you.
I got you.
You know, I said that you need 1 to 2 ounces per pound of weight, and I said I'm 200 pounds, so I need 100 to 200 ounces. That's so dumb, man. That was like I
Hey.
listened to it, I was like, what am I
But
saying?
in the moment, we both were like, "That's amazing."
Yeah,
because we
and-
don't catch what we say sometimes.
People don't, and it's like family and friends will always correct us on stuff, and it's like you don't understand when you're doing a podcast, your brain is functioning at like 60%, and the other 40 is focused on, do I sound okay? Is this sentence making sense? Like it's you're thinking about so many things at once that I don't know.
That's why if we ever say anything offensive or like rude, like you got to give us a break.
Yeah, that's why I think I sound super offensive at times, and I listen to it back and I'm like, I didn't mean that like that. I just don't know how I sound.
It's okay.
So
They understand.
Yeah.
I hope you guys understand. We love you all. We thank you for listening. Appreciate all the support. You guys are amazing. And we love doing this. So thanks for sticking around.
all right, let's get into this next story.
Let's go.
A New Jersey magnet fisherman has found guns, explosives, and more in the Passaic River.
What a win.
Yes, super shocking that you'd find guns, explosives, and more in the Passaic River.
And more.
Like, so before you begin the article, what is magnet fishing?
So this is a big trend online. I see it on TikTok sometimes. Guys go and get these massive, like 3,000 pound magnets. I don't know if that's, I might be making that up, 3,000 pounds, but they're very, very strong magnets. And they tie them to nylon cord or a strong rope. They drop it deep in a river, and then they just hope it catches something metal, and they pull it out.
Are they on a boat?
No, they're on like the side of a river.
But how do they like get
on
to
a
the
bridge
deep end
or something.
Yeah, you just toss it out and you pull stuff in.
How heavy? Didn't you just say it's like 3,000?
No, I'm saying
no.
the strength, the magnetism of it is like 3. I
I'm
don't know.
expecting like a
does
giant-
that sound made up though? 3,000
No,
pounds?
that's realistic, I think.
Okay, so like a really strong
That's
magnet.
sick.
They throw it out and then they pull in whatever they have.
So wait, tell us about like what they found.
I feel
This
like
is
you'd be
sick.
really into magnet fishing.
I didn't know about this, but like, can we try it?
I'll go with you. Yeah, let's do it.
Can we buy it at like Dick's, or have to get this off
I think
Amazon?
it's a big magnet. I think you have to order it online.
Gonna
but-
buy a starter kit.
Well, we could be these guys because listen to this article. Maybe our next article will be in whatever publication this is from. I think NJ.com.
We find millions.
What began as a hobby for two friends from Bloomfield has become a potential history lesson revealing decades-old secrets buried within the bodies of water in North Jersey. Kevin Obudzinski, I can empathize with Kevin because my last name's Sobosinski, my Polish brother. I believe it's Kevin Obudzinski.
Obudzinski.
Kevin and Patrick Brown. That sounds like they're married then. Okay, so let me try this again. I think it's Obudzinski. Kevin Man, guys, you have to give me a second here. You don't have to edit this out, but
He loves it. He's having a great time.
Kevin
right now.
Obudzinski and Patrick Brown are magnet fishermen who have spent the past couple of months pulling all kinds of metal objects out of the waters of Essex County. Most of the stuff is scrap metal, but the men have also found guns, a truck mirror, a bullet, fishing lures, a shotgun barrel, gym weights,
Whoa.
and more. The
Gym
friends
weights.
spend 4 to 5 hours every weekend. I'm sorry, every weekend day, which is a weird way of saying
Every weekend. It's the same
no.
thing.
If you're spending 4 to 5 hours every weekend day, that'd mean you're spending 8 to 10 hours every weekend.
True,
Yeah.
because a weekend day is one day. So
Why would
Saturday,
they
Sunday, unless it's Friday too.
But
that's not a weekend day.
No, that's not a weekend
Well,
day.
That's a
nonetheless,
weekday.
these guys are spending
So
too
they're
much
spending
time
8
magnet
to 10
fishing.
hours a weekend magnet fishing, which sounds like a fun hobby.
I wonder like how much money they're bringing in for that amount of work right there.
I don't think that it's about money. I think it's about the pleasure.
It's it's always about the money,
The treasure
but also
hunt.
Yes.
the pleasure, the treasure, all of it.
Well, listen to this. It says on July 16th, Obudzinski and Brown pulled an unexploded military shell
Wow.
out of the Passaic River
Sheesh.
below the Lyndhurst Bridge.
Oh,
In quotes,
that's
they
a good
say,
spot.
the shell for a bomb to be beneath the
under a
bridge.
Holy crap!
The shell, believed to be live, was then secured and removed to a safe location to be detonated, Nutley police say.
How do you know that like it hasn't been exploded?
Well,
yet?
usually,
does it look like a gun shell? Or
no, I think like surplus, like it depends on what it is, but usually they drill a hole in them and they drain out the gunpowder. I think that's how it works, right, Jimmy? Something like that.
I don't know, but I just can't imagine calling the police and being like, "Hey, I had this unexploded bomb under this bridge." Like,
yeah, you
what?
gotta word it correctly, Jimmy. You're not trying to like call a threat in on yourself. Sound like a
So-
crazy person.
I used to work at like a jewelry exchange / I wouldn't call it a pawn shop, but people would come sell like historic items that, they didn't know where else to sell them other than like eBay. And one day a guy brought in a World War II bomb and my
What?
boss was like, "Hey dude, this is live."
Hey, bro, chill
and
out.
he called the local PD and they like shut down the whole block. It was awesome.
Whoa, and you were there just to witness
Bomb
it all.
squad showed
So
up.
what did
yeah.
that guy say who brought it in?
He was like, I didn't know.
True, like I wouldn't know. Like I'd be an idiot pulling out and being like, "Wow, this is so cool."
It was epic, and it just makes you like appreciate the bomb squad. These guys are showing up like
Oh, it's crazy.
I'd imagine this. I might be wrong on this, but imagine if you work for the bomb squad, you get excited for these calls. You're like, "Oh, sweet! There's
yeah.
a
Of
bomb in the river.
course.
Let's go."
It can't be too often you're getting a call for a live bomb in the state, right? Like where you,
I think
I
it would
don't
happen
know.
more frequently than you would imagine.
like what, a few times a week?
Be like once a week.
The bomb squad's been active, dude, going to all these Walmarts and Costco's and
Yeah.
ShopRates getting bomb threats
I
lately.
think exactly. I think a lot of times it's more of a threat than
Yeah.
actually finding something. But
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, in general, like how often are these guys being deployed?
So here, I just searched NJ bomb on Google News, and we have the story where we're talking about now. The bomb threats at Walmart. This is within the last week.
Yeah.
Yankees.
Stanton emotional after hitting bombs, winning
Stanton,
All-Star
yeah.
Game MVP. My boy.
That's not related. University campus is evacuated. That's NJ, New Jersey City University campus. A team was charged with a bomb threat. So like, there's bomb stuff happening all the
Wait,
time.
did that say he was threatened with a bomb threat during a Zoom funeral?
Teen,
Oh my gosh.
Can we add this to our list of stories? What in the world?
How did we miss this?
A teen charged with bombing threat during Zoom funeral for NJ high school student.
What do you call it? Threatened during the Zoom?
Wait a second.
Oh,
Are we
we
reading
just
that right?
stumble upon a gold mine.
I'm going to read this exactly how I'd read any other headline, and then we'll talk about it,
Yeah,
and maybe it'll
let's
be
go.
a good clip. A New Jersey teen is being charged with a bomb threat during a Zoom funeral for a New Jersey high school student.
I have so many questions.
Dude.
Okay, bomb threat on Zoom for a high school student. What is this?
It
What
says
is
that an
this?
18-month investigation led police to charge a North Jersey teen accused of interrupting a Zoom virtual memorial service for a South Brunswick high school student who died in 2021 and threatening to blow up the funeral home, authorities said Friday. Wow, we just stumbled into a crazy story.
What? Yo, you don't hear about bomb threats being called into funeral homes every day.
The memorial service is being held for 17-year-old Emily Murillo, who died in a car accident in February of 2021. That is so sad, man. Ugh.
So
This
wait, the
is-
kid was like pissed off. He's like, I hate this girl.
no,
I'm going
he-
to bomb the funeral home.
It sounds like he was trolling.
Of course, yeah, of course he wasn't going to bomb it. But like, why would you do that to like a funeral? Like maybe he had an issue with the family or like with the girl. Does it say anything else in the article? Because like you don't just do that to troll. That's so messed up, bro.
Yeah, this is weird because it says she died in a car crash, but it says Murillo's mother said that in a letter to the editor of MyCentralJersey.com that her daughter was relentlessly bullied and took her own life. So
Oh, she could have crashed the car, herself.
Wow. So this is crazy. So it was a suicidal act in the car accident. That's so heartbreaking. But like too many of our children who feel differently, who are different, Emily was bullied, she wrote. She suffered and was marginalized, even in death. She could not escape her tormentors who harassed her memory in the most despicable and deplorable of ways. Her mother was referring to the incident during Murillo's service, which was held virtually because of the coronavirus pandemic. During the service, an unknown person entered the Zoom broadcast and threatened to blow up the funeral home and make the casket turn to ashes, police said. It was unspeakable to us that while family and friends were mourning the loss of a young girl, someone would look to threaten them, South Brunswick Police Chief Raymond Hidaka said in a statement.
Oh, yeah, and it said it took 18 months, but we got him. So they were looking for, it must have not been easy finding this kid, right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it says the teen who was charged was not identified because of his age. And you're right. The quote says it took almost 18 months, but we got him.
Wow.
He was accused of second-degree terroristic threats, third-degree false public alarm,
He almost got away with it.
fourth-degree cyber harassment, police said. The charges were elevated because the threat was made during a state of emergency from a pandemic. Good. He deserves, I don't care if he's 16 and he did this. I mean, it's been 18 months and
That's
he's still
so
a minor, so he
awful.
had to be
That's
15,
awful.
16. He deserves the full extent of whatever the law has for him. That poor family, man. That is so... when kids troll like this, man, it's too much. It's just too much.
No, it's awful, yeah.
So, I don't know. I did not...
It goes back to our conversation of like kids doing really stupid things nowadays, not even thinking of their actions, like the kids bringing guns to school, like bomb threats during funerals, during Zoom. They think it's on Zoom, so it's not real life. Let's just have fun, do whatever we want.
Oh, he's going to jail. That's not going to be good.
I hope,
I can tell you right now.
You do not do that. They must have like had to evacuate the funeral home, right?
I don't know, but you'll get this kid in front of a judge. Any judge with a sound mind, they're not going to have sympathy for the fact that, the way the mother said it, put it best. The girl can't even escape bullying and her death. Like people are still
that poor mother.
tormenting her family. Like that's disgusting. So obviously, if you listen to our podcast often, we don't go on tangent articles like that often. But that was. I don't know how we missed this. We kind of skimmed the news pretty closely and we didn't see this one.
No.
So, all right, moving on.
But wait, so those guys, they found the gun, other than the bomb, they found guns and stuff?
Oh, yeah, back to
I forgot we were talking about that.
No, well, they found a live shell and the bomb squad came in. That's what we talked. I was looking up bomb articles.
Oh, but like, can they sell anything else? Or does this say? Like,
I don't think you sell the stuff because you think even if you find a gun and you're like, we're going to sell a gun. I don't know how you do that, first of all. But second of all, it's been in water, so it's destroyed. It's more a fun hobby.
Yeah, it's just a hobby.
It's cool to pull a gun out of a river. You're like, holy cow. And maybe you call the cops because it might be a murder weapon, which is probably why a gun would be to be honest with you. The only reason a gun would be in the Passaic River is someone murdered somebody and they threw the evidence in the river.
You think they find like jewelry ever and like stuff that they could sell for money?
I doubt it only because... So when I worked at that old job where I was telling you guys about bomb stuff, if you have a piece of gold and you're listening to this and you have a magnet nearby, try to put it on the gold. You'll realize gold is not magnetic.
Really?
It's
I
one of
didn't know that.
one of the first
How
tests.
about like diamonds?
Well, diamond wouldn't be. It's not magnetic, but I don't know what you could do to pull it out.
Well, I don't know. Like, I sound like an idiot right now, but
gotta
like,
go
I just
scuba
I'm,
diving and find that
I'm
stuff.
dreaming about what I'm doing. Like I'm doing in a few weeks when
Well,
I buy
look,
my
if you-
my magnet fishing kit.
I mean, Joe, here's a realistic scenario, dude. You could find a safe and it could have diamonds or jewelry in it.
You're right.
The gold thing, one of the first things we do when testing gold to see, because someone would bring in like a ring and we want to sell it, you put a magnet up against it and that immediately is the pass or fail.
Yeah.
And then you do
So if
you
it-
use nitric acid. I think it's nitric or some sort of acid. You do an acid test on the gold to see what carat it is.
So if the magnet picks it up, you're like, all right, this is fake.
Yeah, that means it's plated. That means there's a thick metal on the inside and then there's gold
Duds.
plating over the outside. So I don't think you could pull jewelry out, but you could definitely pull some cool. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff in the Passaic River you could pull out.
Unreal.
Maybe like a license plate or something.
I got to go into the Rahway River. Seems
Yeah.
untouched right now. I've never seen a guy magnet fishing over there. So who
Let's
knows?
go.
Let me look up 1,000-pound magnet and see what they cost because you could get this. Oh, I think Harbor Freight has them, Josh.
Don't tell me it's $700.
No, there's a magnet right here, 2,000-pound
Oh,
for $68. That's a
Not
good magnet.
bad.
So I wasn't really. Oh, here's a
I
fishing
want
magnet
a big boy. I want a big boy.
on Amazon. A 400-pound pull four strong.
Oh, it's on Prime too. Get it
It
tomorrow.
has gloves and everything. You need to,
Free
Josh.
delivery tomorrow. Josh, order it right now.
This is my my
fine.
work Amazon account. Imagine they'd be like, what does he need a magnet for? That strength, that magnitude.
Cool. New hobby
All
to
right,
pick
well,
up right there.
That was a few really interesting
Great.
stories, man. That's crazy.
Good stuff.
Our next story in Medford, New Jersey, a dog was rescued after being stuck in a drain pipe for a week straight.
No.
All of this in the middle of a heat
I was
wave.
about to say, in the middle of a heat wave, this dog survived for a week. And
Yeah.
it hasn't really been raining either. So how did
It's
this
been
thing
a drought.
survive? Oh my God.
An 8-year-old coonhound missing from its foster family for a week was rescued from a drain pipe in this Burlington County township early Sunday. And those who saved the dog said it likely would not have survived one more day without food or water in the midst of the current heat wave. Wow. The dog named Dylan is now being treated at the Mount Laurel Animal Hospital, according to 6 ABC Action News, and will be adopted into a forever home upon release. Oh, this poor dog. It goes on to say by the time the 9-hour rescue effort concluded around 1 a.m., Dylan had a 104-degree fever. He had sustained paw and elbow burns and was covered in ticks.
Jeez.
The dog may have to undergo surgery for deep elbow lacerations, but it says a neighbor was the first to hear Dylan barking, and subsequently a collaborative effort by police, fire, and utility crews finally freed the animal. So thank goodness he's alive.
Also,
You know?
like, thank God it hasn't been raining much because think
Yeah.
about having a crazy storm. The dog would have drowned in that pipe.
Oh, I guess you're right. Wow.
So that's actually a good thing, even though he didn't have much water to drink. He survived. Like, that's a long time to survive,
Yeah.
right? For a dog?
Poor thing, man. Yeah, he was. Yeah, it's a week without water. It's a long time to survive for anyone without water and food. I'd imagine this dog's a savage. Dylan, 104-degree fever. They're gonna fix him up. It sounds like, and he's gonna find a new home. But crazy that he survived the week. And shout out to the fire department and the police officers and the utility crews. Absolute heroes for saving this dog out of the drain.
Yeah. Also, to the people who heard the barking.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they found the dog near where it went missing or this dog went on a crazy adventure through the storm drains.
Yeah. The article also says a representative from the Southern New Jersey Humane Tracking and Trapping Recovery Group said it was the toughest recovery that we've been involved with, and it's very unbelievable that he's alive actually. So
Wow. Good for, dude, these guys are amazing for, finding the dog, rescuing the
Dude.
dog. The dog's alive. What a heroic story.
no, it's really sad, but it's a heartwarming story in a way because
Of course.
Dylan's going to get a new home soon.
Shout
and
out to Dylan, dude.
He'll have a new family and hopefully a nice, long, happy life in some backyard.
Well, think about the family, dude. Like, when your dog was missing after 5, like, I guess people search for dogs for months, right?
Yeah.
I always see like missing dog posters, but after 10 days, like, you have to start thinking, like, my dog's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
and so this dog was a foster dog too. So he was in a foster home. He didn't have like a forever home with a family. So he went missing, and I guess the foster family started to worry. but they're saying he's going to be immediately up for adoption. So it sounds like maybe this extra attention on his situation is going to help him get a family faster. Maybe people will feel sympathy and go adopt him.
I have a dog question.
Yeah.
Because you owned a dog, growing up.
Yeah, we had a dog.
It said the dog was covered in ticks.
Yeah.
Do ticks affect dogs the same way they affect humans?
I don't know if dogs get like Lyme's disease or what, but
I would imagine so.
Because that sounds like insane if it was covered in ticks. That's terrible.
You give them flea and tick medication.
let me see. Do ticks?
So maybe the dog had the medication, right? Possibly.
Yeah, but I think that's to detract ticks from them.
So it says ticks and intracellular parasites that suck blood from their hosts and can carry it to transmit dangerous bacteria to your dog's body. These bacteria live inside. So it sounds like, it's just not good. I mean, there are tick-borne diseases that affect dogs. Oh, Lyme's disease is one of them. Lyme disease. So Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, so hopefully they're able to treat the dog and give him the right medication to kill whatever the ticks did to it, because that sounds like the worst part. A dog covered in ticks on top of all the other problems.
I think he'll be all right. I think they're gonna fix him up. He survived that.
These vets are insane. These dog doctors, whatever you want to call them, they're crazy good.
It's a pretty cool job if you think about it.
Are they all called vets?
Veterinarians.
Veterinarians? Yeah. I didn't know if there was like a different term for like a hospital dog doctor,
Yeah, I think
I've never owned a dog. I don't know these.
They call it the emergency vet.
I'm sorry.
I don't think you're like a MD if you're a surgeon vet. I think that's part of what makes the job so cool. You're like a veterinarian. Is it veterinarian?
Yeah.
Veterinarian.
No, veterinarian.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Like if you're a veterinarian and you're doing like surgery and stuff, I think it's all the same scale. Like you graduate from school and get your degree or whatever. And I could be wrong though. Who knows?
I wonder if a vet could if they had to, you're under extreme circumstances, someone needed a surgery. Could they do it?
I've seen that in
on a
movies.
human?
Josh, that happens in Prison Break, doesn't it?
I was about to say, if you're a Prison Break fan, episode 2, when he gets his hand chopped off, when Teabag has his hand chopped off, he has his hand in a cooler, and he goes and holds this veterinarian hostage and makes this guy sew his hand. That's like so unrealistic.
Every secret agent movie, they go to a vet because they don't want to be tracked by the medical system.
Well, the veterinarian was like, dude, I'm not a doctor. This is not going to save your hand. He sewed the hand on it, but he's like, dude, I can't actually put everything back together. So his hand was actually dead. So yeah, it sounds like it's a completely different world, Jimmy.
Okay.
A drunk Newark cop killed a nurse on the Garden State Parkway and took the body to his parents' house.
What?
Yeah, an off-duty Newark police officer and his father, a lieutenant within the Newark police force, have been indicted in connection with a pedestrian death. They are accused of trying to cover up. Damien, a 29-year-old nurse from Garfield, was struck and killed by Officer Luis Santiago while walking on the shoulder of the Garden State Parkway early November 1, 2021, according to the acting Essex County prosecutor, Theodore Stevens. So this guy was leaving a Halloween party around 3 a.m. and walking on the shoulder of the parkway. And this off-duty Newark police officer is driving drunk and hits him. But then that's like, as if that's not bad enough, it gets a whole lot worse. The article says instead of immediately calling 911, they both are accused of driving away to the Santiago family residence where they met Lieutenant Luis Santiago, so the officer's father. The younger Santiago then returned to the scene and put the body in the car and drove off, after which Lieutenant Santiago eventually arrived at the scene of the crash and called 911, according to Stevens. So a lot's going on there, but let me break that down. He hits a guy on the parkway. He's drunk, hits him, leaves the scene, comes back and gets the body, takes it home to his lieutenant police officer father. And so clearly not thinking like a sober-minded person.
The dad must have been like, what are you doing? Bringing a body you just hit to my house. You have to know, these guys are cops. They have to know the consequences.
I'm sure his sober lieutenant police officer dad was probably not very happy when his drunk son brought a body home to him.
I can't imagine.
And but now, as a result of him bringing the body home to his dad is being indicted as well. So all around,
do you think the right move would have been his, like in that situation, right? The son brings the body to the dad. The dad obviously knows like this is messed up. My son is drunk, and also he just brought a dead body to me. Do you think the dad, if he called the cops in that moment and told the police, like,
Yeah, I
hey, this is
think-
what's going on, the dad would have been cleared?
That's absolutely at that point in time. Because if father or son, doesn't matter. If the kid brings home, if your neighbor brings a body to your front door, you call the police. So
But I guess as a father, like, having to call the cops on your son like that,
No, I
like,
mean,
that must,
for sure-
I can't put myself in his
for su-
shoes, but like, that's terrifying.
no doubt, and maybe in his mind reasoning, he goes, bring it back and call the cops there, not at my front doorstep. Might have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can only imagine the panic his dad is feeling when his son brings a dead body to him. But also you have to think about the man that died on the parkway. I don't know what he was doing. It sounds like it said he left a Halloween party. So he was out partying late and at 3 a.m. is walking on the shoulder of the parkway. Not a good situation either. It says he misplaced his phone. So I guess maybe he couldn't get a ride home and he was walking home
Yeah.
on the parkway. So not a good situation on either side, but this guy is going to do some serious time in prison. And
so he's drunk and he's a cop, so he obviously knows like what the consequences are. But I guess in that moment, like, you're not sober minded, but also you hit a person, you kill them. Do you think there was a point where he was just so shocked from what happened, where he was just like, he thought that there actually was a way out by bringing the dead body home with him?
I don't know, dude.
That's an
I
act
don't
of
know.
shock, I think.
I don't know if it's an act of shock because he probably sobered up real quick and they went back. They went back to the scene of the crime.
Is that where they called the cops then? And then they eventually realized the kid brought the body with him?
Yeah, so let me dive into the article so we get absolute clarity on this. Now, there's a lot of articles on this. We're reading 1015 because they kind of cover every detail. But if you want to look into this, you can Google it and you'll probably find a few interesting articles. I think there's national news on it as well. It's not just a Jersey thing. But so we'll start with the part with the man who got hit. It said he had misplaced his cell phone and was walking on the shoulder of the highway in Bloomfield when a 25-year-old officer, Santiago, who had been drinking, struck and killed him in his personal car, according to prosecutors. Santiago's 26-year-old cousin, Albert Guzman of Newark, was a passenger that had also been charged. So he's driving with his cousin. Instead of immediately calling 911, they both were accused of driving away to Santiago's family residence, where they met Lieutenant Luis Santiago. The younger Santiago then returned to the scene. So I don't know if he went home and said to his dad, "Dad, I hit somebody. I think they're dead." And his dad went, "Go get the body." But it doesn't sound like that because they brought the body back to the scene of the crime. Because it says, afterwards, Lieutenant Santiago eventually arrived at the scene of the crash and called 911, according to Stevens. Following the emergency call, the younger Santiago was accused of returning to the scene of the crash and unloading the body shortly before state police arrived.
Wait, he thought he was like covering it up? Like, oh, let's pretend like I never grabbed this body and went to my dad's house.
Perhaps. And that's where I go, okay, so like, let's be really immoral with this conversation. If they took the body away and they brought it back, how did word ever get out that they took the body?
I'm thinking maybe like Easy Pass records.
That's actually really
easy, yeah.
smart, Jimmy. Yeah, because they definitely immediately ran the plates and went, "Oh yeah, you guys got off, you got back on, you got off. What happened here?"
Yeah.
And someone probably
And you know what? They probably
cameras
and DNA evidence. Like, I'm sure if you hit somebody, they're bleeding. If you put them in the car, there's evidence
yeah,
all
you're
over
right.
the place.
Duh.
Easy, yeah.
That's pretty.
They're not wrapping
Truthful.
the body up. They have nothing prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sloppy. It's a sloppy job.
So the indictment
It's not funny.
specifically accuses the younger Santiago of deleting phone data, tampering with the crime scene. Yep, so that would be what Jimmy's saying. Failing to call emergency aid and lying to law enforcement. Here's the other thing. Okay, so like maybe he was dead on impact. Maybe he had traumatic brain injury and was laying there and like 5 minutes. A few minutes could have saved it. I doubt it because you're on the parkway. The guy was probably speeding. He was drunk. Maybe he was going like 80 miles an hour. But you don't know, and that's not really up to you to decide. And it's just very sad. So,
Well, that's the thing too. If you're sober and you hit someone on the parkway when they shouldn't be walking on the parkway, you're sober, and you call the police immediately, say, "I hit this guy. He was on the parkway. It was dark out. Didn't see him." Are you going to get charged for killing someone?
I don't know. Well, so here's the difference, okay? I'd imagine they show up to the scene of the crime. Perhaps I don't know what the law says. We'd have to call a cop and ask, but I would imagine they have to run some sort of a blood alcohol test on you to see.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, no
your
matter what.
levels.
Yeah.
And then
I would comply because it's totally understandable.
Yeah. So then at that point, I think the law looks at it differently depending on your intent. Like if you leave the scene. You start to think through like, how am I going to cover this
100%.
up? It goes from like third degree to first degree manslaughter, or even, you know what I mean? Like it's vehicular
But like if I stay
manslaughter.
on the scene and be like,
But if
yo,
so again, like we're talking out of our butts because I don't know, but like I think my assumption would be it would have been a much lighter sentence for this guy if he had stayed on the scene. He'd be going to jail for sure because he was drunk. And I think even if you're not drunk and you hit somebody, I don't know. The parkway is weird.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you could be on the right, the right lane of the parkway, and say there's a drunk guy walking on the parkway, and he walks like kind of veers into your lane, and it's dark out. You don't see him. Is that your fault?
No, I would agree.
Shouldn't have been. That's illegal for that guy to be
agree.
walking on the highway.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine you're not going to jail if that happens. I'd imagine that, that's pretty reasonable on your end to be like, he walked into the lane and it's dark out. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
And you know what? Things like that make me think about being one of those people who gets one of the dash cameras that's just always recording.
I have one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is yours always recording?
Always recording. It just cycles through.
What, every 24 hours?
It shoots 2.7K. So it's
Wow.
actually, for a dash camera, it's beautiful quality. And it
That's
records
good.
like clips. And then when the memory card's full, it just starts to delete the oldest clip forward.
It's like, what's the oldest you have right now?
I don't know, but usually it's like a week or two worth of.
That's great. Yeah, that's
and
all you need.
Honestly, it's a great thing to have. It's a good thing to invest in, just because you just never know, man. Like I had a lady cut me off and hit me, and like an elderly lady, and I pulled into a gas station and like she dented my bumper and she just drove away. I saw she was really old, drove away, and I drive an old pickup, so I was like, I guess she's just gonna leave, whatever. And I just went to work. And it was totally her fault. And like, I could have used that video footage to show the police. Stuff like that, it's good to have.
I've always wanted to get one. I just never got around to it. I think it's very crucial in this day and age too.
No,
for
it's,
sure.
it's a good thing to have.
We could also film every time we do the merge from 24 to 287 to see all the people, what do we call it?
The cutters.
Yeah, whatever.
So we'll see what happens though with this story. It sounds like he's going to jail for a long, long time. His cousin's probably going to jail.
And is the dad too?
I don't know. I wonder
It said he was charged.
He's going to be charged, but he might get off easy. I don't know. We'll have to keep updated on this. Obviously, prayers for the family. That family's got to be struggling for their son who was a nurse that died on the parkway. That's so tragic and not a good ending to life. But also, I will say with both of these people's lives, out mad late partying. I don't know. It just is like, people get crazy, but you got to be smart. You got to think through the decisions you're making, man. Like, thinking through your ride, think through for both these guys. Both these guys, if they thought through their ride,
Get an Uber, get a friend to drive.
Literally,
just sleep at the person's house. It's
an
so
Uber
easy.
would have saved both of their lives if both of them. But he lost his phone. But I mean, maybe he did have a plan to get an Uber. But it's just like drunk driving, man. Never worth it. Ruins people's lives, man. It's messed up.
Selfish.
So yeah, moving on. Next story, which is different tone for sure than the last one.
Yeah, let's just change it up a little bit right here.
But yeah, the state of New Jersey is currently running a program that will give you up to $4,000 to buy an electric vehicle.
Give me all the cash.
Really? You want to get money from the state?
Listen, bro, if I had a house right now, which I don't, I rent, I would probably try to get an EV. I want the Tesla truck whenever that drops.
But you drive so much, Josh.
Yeah, so I don't have to pay for gas.
I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not in favor of this one.
Okay, read the article, then we'll talk about it. Because this is interesting.
So it says Governor Phil Murphy announced Monday the initiative, which includes a payment of up to $4,000 to reduce the price of an electric vehicle and $250 to help pay for the charging station at your home.
There we go.
Murphy said another $4 million will go towards giving incentives for apartment buildings and condominiums to install charging stations for their residents to use. The roughly $60 million that will be used to fund the incentive program will come from this year's Clean Energy Fund, Murphy said. I'm really against this. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, what are you guys saying with this is $60 million from the Clean Energy Fund? What are you guys saying with EVs? It's actually not good for the environment.
Well, this is the big thing with EVs that's debated heavily. It's like you're using these batteries, and Jimmy and I were talking about this. We don't really know how to dispose of them. There really isn't a way. And also, to give you another thing I read this weekend, and I'm going to paraphrase what I read. I heard that 1% of the cars on the road in America are EVs. And just this past week, EV drivers were encouraged to not charge their vehicles because power grids were under so much stress, probably because of the heat wave across a lot of America. 1%. Imagine if that number went to 50%.
Well, that's the thing. We're not prepared yet.
We're not prepared. Our
infrastructure is not there.
The infrastructure isn't there, and it's not even. I think that still the science is very gray that this is better for the environment. Because how do we get electricity? You're burning coal and other fossil fuels. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not. Again, though, I'm sure there's studies. I'm sure Elon has a lot of thoughts on this.
Elon has to have an answer on how to dispose of batteries.
I just don't see, and to wrap it back around to what the state's doing, I don't see how it's my responsibility as the taxpayer to help other people get an EV. That sounds like a luxury. I would love a Tesla myself. I'm not anti-EV. I think Teslas are dope, but I just don't see how it's my personal responsibility. I'm paying taxes, dude. A lot of my money into the state to get somebody else a Tesla. Like, what are we doing here? Let me have my money and use it for something else. Like maybe I could use my own money to save and eventually get a Tesla or something. I would rather be taxed less is what I'm saying. I don't know.
And I think I'm just like an old school guy, right? I shoot an analog camera. I want that internal combustion engine.
I feel that.
Jimmy wants to pay $6 a gallon for diesel.
Suck, squeeze,
let him
bang,
be.
blow.
Well, and Jimmy, and
that's how an internal combustion engine works.
Well, and Jimmy Parks, for the record, man, you are a guy that understands the environment of New Jersey better than I would say 99.9% of residents. You have your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the state. So you're very informed on this. I'm less informed. I'm more of an ignorant person. And I would say I agree with you, Jimmy. I love my Toyota Tacoma. I love that it's a 2002 6-cylinder engine that putt-putts along the right lane of Route 78 because I can't go anywhere else. I like the feeling of it.
I like the sound of it.
I just don't. I know there's like this idealistic image with electric vehicles that it's the solution. And maybe it could be if wind power and solar power were more effective, but I just don't see the technology is not there yet. Maybe one day, I think that's Elon's hope is that one day the tech behind solar or wind or whatever is going to be there, but it's just not yet. And there's a lot of outlying questions that aren't answered, I think.
We got some bigger fish to fry than trying to get everyone on EVs. Like maybe double deck Parkway or double decker I-95. Like what are we doing with all the traffic?
Dude,
we're putting more cars out there, but there's more traffic than ever before.
There's even bigger issues than that. You're right. But like think about like even the town I live in, you see homeless people laying around the town. Now I'm not trying to, I know it's like, it's a false, what do you call it? A false comparison or whatever, where you go, here's one issue. Well, what about this other issue? Obviously the state's doing stuff to help the homeless, but it just feels like a bad use of our money as taxpayers to help people get Teslas. I just don't, it just seems unnecessary. By the way, a Tesla is a luxury vehicle. We have to be reminded of this. A Tesla is not, we're not talking about like the state is going to help you go get a Toyota, what do you call them?
Tacoma.
No, what's the Toyota hybrid?
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot. I don't know the name of
the Prius. It's not like the state is going, hey, if you want to get a Prius, we're going to give out vouchers for Priuses. Like, you're getting a luxury vehicle with a lot of technology in it. I'm sorry to sound, I feel like the more I listen to this podcast, I don't like how I sound.
EVs. Is every EV a luxury vehicle?
So that's a great point, actually.
Like, what's the lowest, like,
Chevy Bolt?
What's the cheapest EV you can get?
Hold on. Let me correct myself because you're absolutely right. I took a step that wasn't there with the article. It wasn't about Tesla.
Like, we got Elon coming on the pod in a few weeks. Let's just...
Yeah, let's chill out here a little bit. No, but you're right.
I'm completely kidding.
I'm going to see if the article says, as the price of EVs continues to fall more and more, in line with gas-powered cars, especially, blah, 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 the state is willing to chip in up to $4,000 for all vehicles under $45,000 and $2,000 for vehicles priced between $45,000 and $50,000. So it sounds like it isn't incentivizing luxury vehicles, but still a $44,000 car, right? Let's say you get that $4,000. That's a luxury vehicle. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit old school
every
that
pickup
way.
I'm looking at, dude. Every brand new pickup is over $50K.
But a pickup, think about, there's not a whole lot of EV pickups. So let's take a sedan, right? A $44,000 sedan. You're looking at Mercedes-Benzes, you're looking at BMWs. Maybe like a decked out Toyota or a decked out Honda is $44,000, but a baseline model is going to be like high 20s, low 30s, right?
Yeah, I have to look. I haven't been looking at cars, but yeah, that sounds about right. I've been looking more at just trucks right now, but yeah.
I just don't buy it. I don't buy that this is like, this is going to fix our issues. It's going to fix the environment. I think it's nearsighted and there's other things we could be doing. Maybe we invest that money in the parks department.
I would consider
Don't get
An
him
F-150
excited.
Lightning.
What's a Chevy Bolt look like? You said it.
Oh, Chevy Volt.
Volt?
Yeah, I think I said Volt originally.
Can you just
but it's
Google
Volt.
it? What's
The
a Chevy
F1,
Volt
the
look
electric
like?
F-150 is sick.
I saw the first one in person this week. It
What's the
looked really
price
cool.
tag on that?
A lot.
It's like $73,000, I think. Dude, look at the F-150
Oh
electric.
no, I've seen it. They're nuts, dude.
They're
I would.
so-
If I had a house, I'd pick one up right now if I had the money.
So back to my point, I will say I would absolutely drive an electric vehicle.
Wait,
like
just-
I'm not against electric vehicles, but I just think that this is dumb. That they're
wow.
Search
They
a Chevy
start-
Volt really quick. I just want to see it.
F-150 Lightning starts at $39,000.
Oh, for your
Yeah,
base, yeah. Who
and
wants
you're-
the base model?
You're gonna have a plastic everything.
Yeah,
It's gonna be rinky dink. That's a
that's
Chevy
an
Volt.
EV.
Yeah.
It's
All right, moving on. We got to keep rolling with the stories. This might be our longest podcast yet.
And let me just say, I'm not opposed. Like, I think that's. I want to know from the people. Like, do you guys like the hour episodes? Like, do you guys want longer? Do you want shorter episodes? Like, we actually haven't heard from the people about this.
We'll have to ask. By the way, Josh, what do you think about the EV thing? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Dude, I'm kind of in the middle. I have no idea. I would love to know like what the people think.
I guess here's what I will say. As cynical as I am about the state and how we use our tax dollars, at least it's going back to citizens. Like, of all things, like we spend our money on stuff that's like ridiculous. The money is going to be put back in the pocket of people that are paying the taxes. So that's great. I just am like, I hate to sound crazy on this podcast. I just want lower taxes in New Jersey. That is something we can all agree on. I think
Get your tax rebate, bro.
regardless of your political affiliation, we all just want to pay less taxes.
Yes.
And we could all align on that, and that's great. So, okay, moving on. In Bergen County, New Jersey, a family is suing a funeral home $50 million after mixing up their dead grandmother's body with someone else.
How does this happen?
Oh no! Oh, bro, that's what a surprise.
Yeah, in Ridgefield, it says the relatives of a Bergen
Sucks.
County grandmother were mourning her death when a funeral home director stopped at the burial of the casket. This is at the burial. As it was being lowered into the ground, it says, according to the lawsuit seeking $50 million in damages, filed on Monday, the complaint said that Kumi Kim, the deceased daughter, saw the body thought to be her mother's on the morning of the funeral. She told the funeral director, who operated both Central Funeral Home of New Jersey and Blackley Funeral Home and cremation services, and said that it did not look like her mother. So the morning of the funeral, she's like, that's not my mom.
And they just proceeded?
The funeral director responded with a very clear expression of denial and dismay over the question, according to the lawsuit. Ooh. It said that Kim chalked it up to the embalming process and heavy makeup. However, the funeral director then reached out to another unrelated woman. She sent the funeral director pictures of her deceased mother via text message. The lawsuit said that the woman in the photos was a person in the casket.
That is crazy.
My brother.
My brother.
That's dark.
That poor family, dude. Like that's just we're laughing because it's so ridiculous, but man,
if that was
the
me,
day of a mourning, man. No.
Okay, now can we take a step back?
Yeah.
$50 million.
Well, I don't know if you didn't read in the article, but they were saying that the funeral home gave the family $9,000 refund. And his family's like, nah, we want $50 million. How about that?
I think they get a settlement of like $40,000.
You don't think more? Funeral homes make good money, bro.
They do, but you're gonna say $50 million. You're gonna have to prove some real emotional damage.
The body was in the ground. The body was already in the ground. They almost covered it, and then that's when they realized
they were lowering it into the ground when they stopped.
Yeah, they were already into the ground, Josh. That's pretty bad.
I'm not saying this is really dark. It's disturbing for sure. $50 million is a lot of money.
A lot of bones, dude.
That's crazy, but nonetheless,
okay,
if I was
I'll
this lady,
take $2 million. Let's talk millions at least, dude.
I mean, I would take $2 million too. I'm not saying I wouldn't take $2 million. I'm saying I think that what the settlement's going to be is like $40,000.
It's messed up, dude.
They're going to settle out of court. You sue high. They settle out of court. They go, hey, we'll pay you $60,000. Let's just act like this never happened. And they go, $60,000. Okay, I'll pay off my mortgage with that. And we'll move on with life.
Do you think so? He received the text message probably when the ceremony was happening, and that's when he probably called me like, "Don't bury the body.
It says
lift it up."
The funeral director then reached out to another woman. She sent the funeral director pictures of her deceased mother. So another lady sends pictures of her mom.
Yeah.
And the funeral director is like, oh my goodness.
They were right.
That's the lady in that casket that's being buried. That's not Kumi Kim.
So he probably was like telling someone from the funeral home at the funeral, be like, hey, don't put this body in the ground.
Yeah.
We screwed up.
Yikes.
Awkward.
It's a yikes for me, dog.
I hope the family gets money, because that's just very emotionally draining. I can't imagine the whole process, how terrible this must have been for the Kim family.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I'm going to just read a bit more. The amount of $50 million demanded in the lawsuit comes from 5 violations of the law, according to Maggiano.
Okay.
He told New Jersey 1015 that any money won as a result of the lawsuit would be donated to 2 churches, including the Promise Church. Is $50 million too much to ask for such an outrage? Maggiano said. It is too little to address the intentionality of the funeral home in making promises it could never keep because it chose to not establish a system of identifiers for each body it received and cared for.
You got one job. You got one job. Don't mix up the dead bodies.
No, I agree completely. I agree that I think that sounds like, so that is the attorney speaking, by the way. It sounds like lawyer speak for like, is $50 million too much to ask for the pain? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it is. Personally, I'm not trying to be not sympathetic because this is terrible.
Awful.
But 50 mil, my brother.
It's a lot of money.
50 mil, my brother. That's a lot of money.
Emotional damage, bro. That stuff is hard to heal. 50 mil might make you feel a little better.
For 50 mil, you could build an Android copy of your deceased grandmother.
Oh, come on, stop. You can't.
That's a lot of money. You could go to
dumb.
MIT and pay them like $4 million and get.
Shut up.
I'm kidding. That's dark. But no, it's very, very sad. And hopefully the family moves on. Hopefully they get a nice fat check from the funeral home.
I'm rooting for the family. Let's go.
Yeah,
Sucks for them.
Again, I'm rooting for them too. I just think 50 mil isn't going to happen. All right. Now, our last story of the evening. Or of the morning, depending on when you're listening. This is another. We have these weeks every now and again where we're like, these stories are just killer. A Bordentown, New Jersey woman has been sentenced to a year in prison after scamming GoFundMe patrons $400,000 for a homeless veteran.
The state never fails, bro, with these stories. Like, there's always some crazy person like this doing it to themselves.
Okay, listen to this. Listen to how this went down.
You're so stupid.
It says a New Jersey woman convicted of a federal offense over $400,000 GoFundMe scam presented as benefiting a homeless veteran who helped her when she ran out of gas was sentenced to prison time. So this lady, her name is Caitlin McClure, 32 of Bordentown, was driving and ran out of gas. A Good Samaritan homeless guy gave her cash.
The homeless guy gave her cash.
Yes, for gas. And she created a crowdsourced funding page on GoFundMe's website titled Paying It Forward, posting the story that McClure was driving home from Philadelphia on an Interstate 95 and ran out of gas. They claimed Bobbitt, who is the name of the homeless man, rescued McClure by using his last $20 to buy gasoline for her car. And the website stated that donations were being collected to get Bobbitt off the streets and provide him with a little living expense. They set the goal of $10,000. The story spread like wildfire. They raised 400 G's. But in reality, here's where it gets interesting. McClure never ran out of gas, and Bobbitt never spent his last $20 for her, federal prosecutors said.
Wait. He never spent... Wait, what?
No, she never ran out of gas, and he never gave her money.
Oh, they did it together to make money.
Yeah, it says in mid-November 2017, when the donations had approximately reached $1,500, D'Amico and McClure told Bobbitt about the campaign and the false gas story, according to the Justice Department. So they filled him in on the fake story. So he then became a part of the scam. Oh. Yes. And then it says in December 2017, after setting up a bank account for Bobbitt, D'Amico and McClure deposited $25,000 of proceeds of the scheme into Bobbitt's account.
Jeez.
The couple pocketed the rest for themselves, and the homeless man later retained a lawyer.
wait, why did he retain a lawyer?
Because there's 400 G's and he got $25,000.
Oh, poor guy.
What a story,
and
man.
And he also got arrested, though. He's also being charged, right? He pleaded guilty.
Yeah.
So he got screwed, too, in the end of it, because he was part of it.
Dude,
Bunch of scumbags.
it's amazing
dude.
because the article also says this isn't the first time this lady's been like charged for scams.
Yeah, like once a scammer, always a scammer. These people are just living off scamming.
Yeah, this
So
is
sad,
crazy.
pathetic, bunch of losers. Get out of here.
But
Losers.
what a crazy turn of events where the homeless guy gets they give him 25 grand and he immediately retains a lawyer.
He's like, I want 200 grand. I
He's
want
like,
my half.
Well, I bet you they had a conversation where they were like, hey, we got 400 grand. We'll give you 25 grand. Keep your mouth shut. And he was like, hold on a second. No,
I have
want
some money now. I'm going to hire a lawyer.
400 grand. But then I'm sure they probably came clean. It was like, it never happened. He never even gave us the money.
No, at the end of the day, none of them are getting their money, and they're a bunch of losers. So
You going to jail.
Yeah, they're all going to jail.
So
Sucks. Oh, she also got a year and a day, Joshua. So she got more.
she got 1 year prison plus a day. I don't know why they gave her the extra day.
Can't just give her a year.
Not enough time because they abused the benevolence of the general populace, regular people giving their money to a homeless veteran, and that's how they get repaid.
Absolutely insane.
So, with that's our list of stories for the night.
Powerful night, man. So much going on in Jersey. Love it.
I would say this was a power hour.
The Power Hour with Josh and Josh.
Hey, if you're listening to this podcast, we once again want to thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. We've been doing this weekly since December 1st, right, Chomik?
Yeah, minus our little break with the Jimmy Parks report. Yeah, weekly.
And we want to let you know that next week we will not be having an episode.
Oh, we are on summer vacation. You know, we're all taking our little vacations.
We won't be having a podcast because we're taking summer vacation. Josh Chomik is going to a little place called Aspen, Colorado, and he's going to be drumming for a New Jersey band.
Yeah, I'm drumming with the boys in Arizona for a gig, so that'll
Band,
be
not
fun.
the state.
The band, not the state.
If you like Arizona, which is an awesome band, friends of ours, Josh is going to be drumming for them out in Colorado. And when he gets back, we will have another episode for you guys.
It looks like we're going to be back on Friday, August 12th.
Wow, that feels far away right now, but I'm sure it's not.
August 5th is our off week. We will all be on vacay. Josh, where are you going?
I'm going to the wonderful Cape May, New Jersey.
Ooh. So good. So
yeah,
good.
I'm going to be down at the Cape, and I'm going to be chilling.
Chilling. What's your favorite spot down there again?
If you want, it depends on what you're looking for. Breakfast, I like the Blue Pig.
Nice.
There's a lot of good spots down there. But yeah, I'll be in Cape May. My favorite place to be. If you catch me in Cape May, make sure to say what's up. Oh, I love the Lobster House, of course. That's a classic.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on. Yeah. So don't be sad, guys. We'll be back a week after. We're just taking one break.
And is Jimmy Parks taking a vacation?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Montana, Utah, and Idaho.
Woo.
Wow, we are seeing the world, fellas.
Hey, if you guys want to follow all our adventures, follow us on Instagram. Jimmy is JTDscape, SCAPE. I'm Chomik. You're Josh Sobo.
Josh Sobo.
So you guys can follow us, but we'll be back. Don't be sad. We're going to miss you guys, but we'll definitely be posting content daily still leading up until our return. And once again, if you like to watch podcasts, our episodes are now on YouTube. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Link is in the bio of this podcast.
Description.
So now, so you can go see our beautiful faces while we tell these stories and seeing our live reactions rather than just listening to us. But if you like listening to us, stay on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate all the love and support. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
That was a mouthful. I'm just like, that was a lot to say, guys. So
all
thank
right.
you. It means a lot.
We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Have a good one.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
You're watching The Garden State. The Dirty Jers.